Canto III. The Vestibule of Hell. The Opportunists. The poets pass the gate of hell and are immediately assailed by cries of anguish. Dante sees the first of the souls in torment. They are the opportunists. Those souls who in life were neither for good nor evil but only for themselves. Mixed with them are those outcasts who took no sides in the rebellion. Of the angels, they are neither in hell nor out of it, eternally unclassified. They race round and round pursuing a wavering banner that runs forever before them through the dirty air. And as they run they are pursued by swarms of wasps and hornets, who sting them and produce a constant flow of blood and putrid matter which trickles down the bodies of the sinners and is feasted upon by loathsome worms and maggots who coat the ground. The law of Dante's hell is the law of symbolic retribution. As they sinned, so are they punished. They took no sides, therefore they are given no place. As they pursued the ever-shifting illusion of their own advantage, changing their courses with every changing wind, so they pursue eternally an elusive, ever-shifting banner. As their sin was a darkness, so they move in darkness. As their own guilty conscience pursued them, so they are pursued by swarms of wasps and hornets. And as their actions were a moral filth, so they run eternally through the filth of worms and maggots which they themselves feed. Dante recognizes several, among them Pope Celestine V, but without delaying to speak to any of these souls, the poets move on to Acheron, the first of the rivers of hell. Here the newly arrived souls of the damned gather and wait for monstrous Charon to ferry him over to punishment. Charon recognizes Dante as a living man and angrily refuses him passage. Virgil forces Charon to serve them, but Dante swoons with terror, and does not reawaken until he is on the other side. I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way to a forsaken people. I am the way into eternal sorrow. Sacred justice moved my architect. I was raised here by divine omnipotence, primordial love and ultimate intellect. Only those elements time cannot wear were made before me, and beyond time I stand. Abandon all hope ye who enter here. These mysteries I read cut into stone above a gate. And turning I said, Master, what is the meaning of this harsh inscription? And he then as initiate to novice. Here must you put by all division of spirit and gather your soul against all cowardice. This is the place I told you to expect. Here you shall pass among the fallen people, souls who have lost the good of intellect. So saying, he put forth his hand to me. And with a gentle and encouraging smile he led me through the gate of mystery. Here sighs and cries and wails coiled and recoiled on the starless air, spilling my soul to tears. A confusion of tongues and monstrous accents toiled. In pain and anger. Voices hoarse and shrill and sounds of blows, all intermingled, raised tumult and pandemonium ten that still whirls on dire air forever dirty with it. As if a whirlwind sucked at sand. And I, holding my head in horror, cried, Sweet Spirit! What souls are these who run through this black haze? And he to me, These are the nearly soulless whose lives concluded neither blame nor praise. They are mixed here with that despicable corps of angels who were neither God nor Satan, but only for themselves. The High Creator scourged them from heaven for its perfect beauty, and hell will not receive them since the wicked might feel some glory over them. And I, Master, what gnaws at them so hideously their lamentation stuns the very air? They have no hope of death, he answered me. And in their blind and unattaining state their miserable lives have sunk so low that they must envy every other fate. No word of them survives their living season. Mercy and justice deny them even a name. Let us not speak of them. Look, and pass on. I saw a banner there upon a mist. So circling and circling, it seemed to scorn all. Pause. So it ran on, and still behind it pressed. A never-ending rout of souls in pain. I had not thought death had undone so many as passed before me in that mournful train. And some I knew among them, last of all. I recognized the shadow of that soul, who, in his cowardice, made the great denial. At once I understood for certain, these were of that retrograde and faithless crew hateful to God and to his enemies. These wretches never born and never dead ran naked in a swarm of wasps and hornets that goaded them the more they fled, and made their faces stream with bloody gouts of pus and tears that dribbled to their feet to be swallowed there by loathsome worms and maggots. Then looking onward I made out a throng assembled on the beach of a wide river, whereupon I turned to him, Master, I long to know what souls these are, and what strange usage makes them as eager to cross as they seem to be in this infected light. At which the sage, all this shall be made known to you when we stand on the joyless beach of Acheron. And I cast down my eyes, sensing a reprimand in what he said, and so walked at his side in silence and ashamed until we came through the dead cavern to that sunless tide. There, steering toward us in an ancient ferry, so came an old man with white bush of hair, bellowing, Woe to you depraved souls! Bury here and forever all hope of paradise. I come to lead you to the other shore, into eternal dark, into fire and ice. And you who are living yet, I say begone from these who are dead. But when he saw me stand against his violence, he began again. By other windings and by other steerage shall you cross to that other shore. Not here, not here. A lighter craft than mine must give you passage, and my guide to him. Charon, bite back your spleen. This has been willed where what is willed must be, and is not yours to ask what it may mean. The steersman of that march of ruined souls, who wore a wheel of flame around each eye, stifled the rage that shook his woolly jowls. But those unmanned and naked spirits, they turned pale with fear and their teeth began to chatter at sound of his crude bellow. In despair, they blasphemed God, their parents, their time on earth, the race of Adam, and the day and the hour and the place and the seed and the womb that gave them birth. But all together they drew to that grim shore where all must come who lose the fear of God. Weeping and cursing they come forevermore. And demon Charon with eyes like burning coals herds them in, and with a whistling oar flails on the stragglers to his wake of souls. As leaves in autumn loosen and stream down until the branch stands bare above its tatters spread on the rustling ground, so one by one the evil seed of Adam in its fall cast themselves, at his signal, from the shore and streamed away like birds who hear their call. So they are gone over that shadowy water, and always before they reach the other shore a new noise stirs on this, and new throngs gather. My son, the courteous master said to me, all who die in the shadow of God's wrath converge to this from every clime and country. And all pass over eagerly, for here divine justice transforms and spurs them so their dread turns wish, they yearn for what they fear. No soul in grace comes ever to this crossing, therefore if Charon rages at your presence you will understand the reason for his cursing. When he had spoken, all the twilight country shook so violently, the terror of it bathes me with sweat even in memory. The tear-soaked ground gave out a sigh of wind that spewed itself in flame on a red sky, and all my shattered senses left me blind. Like one whom sleep comes over in a swoon, I stumbled into darkness and went down.